The issue around Nigel Farage's bank cancellation continues to escalate, and now the biased BBC are getting involved and becoming subtly, the mouthpiece of the establishment, of the banking establishment. This is getting really weird now. So, the worst kept secret in recent times, over the last few days, has been Nigel Farage's bank. What bank was it? Everybody was talking about it already on social media. Yes, it was Coutts & Co. A massive bank. You got the royal family members and celebrities having a bank account with these guys. And these are the guys who decided to shut down and cancel Nigel Farage's bank accounts, personal bank accounts and business bank accounts without any proper warning or any sort of indication initially. And Nigel Farage obviously exposed it. Now, the bank has come out. Even though Nigel Farage didn't name the bank, they've come out to rebuttal and debunk these claims, at the same time discussing a private customer's details or affairs publicly. Now, this is getting quite interesting because the BBC are getting obsessed with Nigel Farage again. The BBC's front page, we've got so many big issues today. But on the second or third main headline is Farage bank account shut for falling below wealth limits. So basically, Coutts & Co came and said, "Oh, the reason for this is because Nigel Farage is falling in terms of the requirements to be a member of Coutts & Co." Okay, then you have Simon Jack from the BBC saying Nigel Farage fell below the financial threshold required to hold an account at Coutts, the prestigious private bank for wealthy customers, the BBC has been told. It also understood that he was offered a normal account at NatWest, which owns Coutts. Okay, so that's BBC's line, right? But Nigel Farage has now come out to tell the truth about what actually happened. This is Nigel.
Yes, the bank that closed me out was Coutts. Now they say they've offered me a NatWest account. That wasn't until late on Thursday night, after I'd blown the story out there, which said that then 7 other banks had refused me. That is now 9 other banks that have refused me. They're telling the press I don't meet their wealth threshold. Well, they've never mentioned that before in the previous 10 years. The worst of the story is they denied to me on the phone on Friday that I was a PEP, a politically exposed person. That's the reason nobody else will have me, and Coutts are, frankly, being very, very dishonest indeed.
So, let me get this right. They are saying to the BBC, and the BBC are becoming their mouthpiece, saying, well, they offered him a NatWest account, but they didn't do it until after Nigel Farage exposed the whole thing and it became a big story. Now, Nigel Farage is lucky, he's got a big name, and if something happens to him, he has a platform to expose things. And that's why this story is actually being addressed. Jeremy Hunt is getting involved to saying that, well, we should start an investigation. Banks shouldn't be allowed to do this. Okay. But if it happens to me or you guys, then nobody will be able to fight that fight for us. Now, having said that, the problem with this is that they still haven't told him the truth about their decision. Now, Simon Jack from the BBC continued by saying people familiar with this matter, the matter rejected the notion that the decision to close his Coutts account was in any way political. They said it was for commercial reasons. The criteria for holding a Coutts account are clear from the bank's website. Coutts requires customers to borrow or invest £1 million with the bank or hold £3 million in savings. He's had this bank account for years. They never had a problem with him before. They didn't tell him anything before. Somehow they have. Okay, Simon Jack also says, Mr. Farage recently posted a 6-minute video on Twitter complaining, blah, 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 right? And they say, I might have to leave the country. Mr. Farage disputed the fact that he was offered a NatWest account at the time his Coutts accounts were withdrawn. He says the offer of a NatWest account came late last week. The offer of a NatWest account still stands. So the BBC, it's a so subtle bias, by the way. At the end, so far, the rest of it is like, I'm just reporting the news, right? I'm reporting what Coutts says, what Nigel Farage says. And then at the end, so it seems like everything is just factual. But the fact that it says the offer of a NatWest account still stands, it's like they're acting like the lawyers for Coutts, saying, oh, by the way, the offer still stands, Nigel. I'm the BBC. Listen to me. It's getting a little bit weird. Now we had Charles Walker, who also came out on GB News to discuss this issue about Nigel Farage. This is what Walker said.
I do think Nigel Farage is owed an explanation. I think he should take it up to the FCA, with the FCA. He should quote Part 20C of the Bank of England Act 2016, and he should carry on with this. Now, I know the government is seeking to amend the legislation and put in further protections to prevent banks from behaving this way.
Yeah, but will they actually get anything done? That's the main question. But Charles Walker is absolutely spot on. Nigel Farage should continue this fight because it's not really just about him. It's also about all the others who have been cancelled. It's all about the others who could be cancelled in the future, even myself and many others, other commentators or influencers or whatever you want to call them, activists. You know, you had issues with Tommy Robinson, Katie Hopkins, many others in the past. This is about all of us. This is about continuing to fight for sanity in this country, for basic freedoms in this country. We're all going to keep you guys posted on this channel as usual. We're going to come back in half an hour and talk to you guys about the latest update on ULEZ, the ultra low emission zones, and the court case that has officially started in the High Court in central London. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.